Once again, this is Joe Foreman alongside Andrew Rotundo. We are live from the Legends Sports Complex in Claremont, Florida. We are set on a perch atop the administrative building behind home plate. Mariah Carcano opens the game with a bunt single for the Dolphins, as Andrew mentioned. Dolphins wearing black uniforms, white pants, Columbia blue numbers, as that's tapped over to first. And Acosta is retired. Advancing to second is Carcano.
Well, the Wildcats get their first out, but at least the Dolphins are able to move Carcano up to second. Just one out in the inning, and Dolphins already here in quick business.
That will bring up the designated player, Amelia Funston. That pitch to Funston misses down and away for ball 3.
And Funston off to a good start as well at the plate here. Let's see what she makes of being ahead in the count.
And that pitch is taken for ball 4. Dolphins have 2 on in the opening inning, and Elizabeth Moore will come to the plate.
It's exactly what you want for the Dolphins. Already 2 on, just 1 out. And wasting no time getting runners on base here are the Dolphins.
And Moore takes a called strike on the first pitch of her at bat. Moore got her season off to a nice start. Had a home run back on Friday in the Dolphins sweep of Alliance University. And that's chopped on the ground to short, handled over at shortstop, and they go the short way to third. Carcano is out. Moore reaches on the fielder's choice, and there are now 2 away in the top half of the first.
Yeah, definitely not enough for 2. You saw the shortstop look over, and she decided to just go with the easy route, get the second out. Now 2 on, 2 out for Eileen Balderas.
Trying to work on our live stats right now, though our internet connection may not be the best. It does say we're pushing, but right now I don't see the live stats updating, so we'll work on that. As Eileen Balderas is at the plate, Balderas also homered back on Friday. Her first at bat as a Dolphin resulted in a home run. And that's it right back to the circle. Throw over to first in time, and the Dolphins are set aside in the first inning. No score through the top half of inning number 1. Wildcats come to bat after this break. And we are back for the bottom half of the first inning. Alexis Miramontes steps into the circle for the Dolphins. In just a moment, we'll get you the starting lineup for Wayne State College. That pitch is taken up high for ball 2. Now, I have one laptop with a roster and another with stats, so it may be a bit difficult to get you the lineup quickly, but I'm going to do my best here and try and get you the lineup as the action carries on. 2-0 the count, and that pitch misses up and away. Riley Holmberg leads things off for the Wildcats.
And Miramontes is going to want to tighten.
So what we're going to do is go batter by batter as Miramontes misses with 4 straight.
Not the way you want to start for Miramontes, but definitely got to shake that one off and just keep it going. That's just one batter face, so.
Louisa Stoneman, batting out of the 2 spot for the Wildcats, steps to the plate. And that misses down and away for ball. And that misses for ball 2.
6 straight balls here, Joe. Just got to find the strike zone.
And that will prompt a conference in the circle. Tracy Garofalo emerges from the Dolphins dugout. Rianne Mayer, the Dolphins catcher, joins the conversation as well. Not the start Miramontes was looking for. Was very strong in her first outing of the season on Friday. Picked up the win against Alliance University in a Dolphins sweep. CSI scored 16 runs across the 2 games in that doubleheader. An 8-1 victory and an 8-0 victory. The 8-0 victory came in Game 1, the 8-1 victory in Game 2. 2-0 the count on Stoneman, who is still waiting to step back into the box. Right-handed batter against the right-handed Miramontes. Here comes the 2-0. And that finds the zone for a called strike.
Good pitch there. Good bounce back by Miramontes after the circle visit from Coach Garofalo. Let's see how she recovers here.
Comes the 2-1. And that's off the outside corner for ball 3. Three balls and 1 strike the count on the Wildcats right fielder. And that catches the inside corner for a called strike 2.
Good pitch there by Miramontes. As batter looking to take that for ball 4, and it just catches the zone.
That
Full
pitch
count.
was close. And that's fouled away. And Stoneman will stay alive.
You see Anissa Acosta come over from first, give a little handshake there to Miramontes.
Some words of encouragement for her starting pitcher as that sails up high for ball 4. And Miramontes has now walked the first 2.
And she needs to bounce back here quickly. And I know it's just the first 2 runners of this game, but things can start to get away quickly, and she's going to want to recover here.
3 spot in the order now for the Wildcats. Kim Vidlak will be the batter. And Vidlak takes up and away as both runners strayed a few steps from their respective bases.
Yeah, you saw some movement there in the infield from the Dolphins trying to catch that.
Holmberg on second, Stoneman on first. 1-0 the count on Vidlak. And the pitch from Miramontes is swung on and missed for strike 1.
There you go, Miramontes. Nice fastball there.
1 ball and 1 strike the count on the Wayne State catcher. And the pitch from Miramontes is hit on the ground foul and into the CSI dugout.
Yeah, a couple of feet moving there in the dugout trying to dodge that ball. And went driven right in through the doorway.
The last time I was here back in 2019, I scored the games from the dugout. Minus the lack of seating, this perspective is just as good. As that pitch sails up high for ball 2.
Definitely a great view here, Joe.
A very nice facility, which I did recall from 2019. Last time the Dolphins visited here, with me in tow anyway, they were a Division III program as Miramontes has run the count full, and Mayer will have a word with her starting pitcher.
Yeah, Miramontes looked a little frustrated there after that pitch. She bent over. As soon as she threw the ball down, she bent over in frustration there, and she's going to have a talk with her catcher and try and wake it up here a little bit.
This is a big pitch here. An out versus a bases loaded, nobody out jam is a huge difference. If Miramontes can get this out, preferably for her by strikeout, that keeps a double play in order. And time is called for by Vidlak, who will step out of the box. Vidlak, another right-handed hitter. count is full. Miramontes looks in. Here comes the payoff pitch. And that sails way upstairs for ball 4.
And just couldn't keep control of that one, and it's going to cost Miramontes. Now some dangerous play here from the Dolphins. Bases loaded, nobody out in the inning. And let's see what they do here.
And we have an early substitution. So with that, we're going to head to a brief break. Anissa Acosta will take over in the circle. We're going to have a change over at first as well. It looks like Amelia Funston is headed there. I'll make those changes in our live stats, and we'll be right back. And we are back from the Legends Sports Complex, and we have an early pitching change for the Dolphins. Anissa Acosta takes over in the circle. Amelia Funston moves over to first base, and Alexis Miramontes is finished without recording an out. She issued 3 walks in the opening inning.
And Dolphins make quick work of Miramontes. They come out of the dugout and say they'll have none of that, as they don't want this game getting away from them quickly and early.
1-0 the count, and that pitch sails up high. So the Dolphins right now having trouble finding the strike zone as a unit. At the plate for the Wildcats is Madison Gomez. Here comes the 2-0, and that's way upstairs for ball 3.
Yeah, these pitches need to get a little lower here from Acosta's. Just keep sailing them up high.
Dolphins simply can't find the strike zone right now. And the 3-0 is in for a called strike 1.
Yeah, Gomez taking all the way on that play. And good for Acosta as she's able to finally find the strike zone.
For those trying to follow with our live stats, we do apologize as we're having an issue with those right now, but Acosta has battled back in this at-bat and run the count full.
That was another nice pitch there. Just found the outside of the zone. Once again, Gomez taking for another strike, and now full count.
That pitch right on the corner. Here comes the payoff pitch. And that is up high for ball 4.
That scores the first run. The Wildcats off to an early 1-0 lead here off of 4 walks in the inning, Joe.
I'm not sure I've seen a game start like this in a very long time, if ever. Dolphins pitching was rock solid on Friday, and they're off to a rough start in this game. And that pitch misses for ball 1.
Yeah, it was just inside for Acosta, and once again, still trying to find that strike zone. Still nobody out in the inning.
1-0 the count. Here comes Acosta's pitch, and that misses up and away for ball 2. Acosta takes a step out of the circle, has a word with her third baseman, Liz Moore. They try and slow things down just a bit here. She's really struggled since coming into the game. And that's in for a strike.
Acosta once again giving up a few balls right away and staying with it. Let's see if she can finally finish a batter and get the first out.
Comes the 2-1, and that's a good off-speed pitch by Acosta.
Big swing and a miss there from Murphy. And now 2 strikes.
Acosta 1 strike away from a big first out. And that pitch is hit through the middle and into center field for a base hit. 2 runs come in to score. Gomez moves up to second, and it's a 2 RBI single on the play. Once again, the batter at the plate, as Andrew mentioned, was Haley Murphy, and Murphy has driven in a pair to put the Wildcats ahead 3-0.
And designated hitter gets all of that. Haley Murphy drives that one right by short and second into the outfield and scores 2, and now a 3-0 lead for the Wildcats here in the bottom of the first, and still, Joe, nobody out.
And that pitch misses from Acosta, as it looks like we have corrected our live stats issue. So we're back, up and running on the live stats if you want to follow along. Once again, Acosta misses with the first pitch, but catches the inside corner with that second pitch.
That could have gone either way, I think, Joe, and luckily for Acosta, she's able to get the strike and even the count up.
Anika Manzanares at the plate right now for the Wildcats. And that's a weak swing at that pitch. Looks like she tried to hold up there.
Little hesitant there, and another big swing and a miss. Now Acosta ahead in the count, 1-2.
Dolphins still looking for their first out of the game. CSI threatened in the first. They're still well within striking distance early in this one, as that's lofted on the infield. And Andrew, fans of the broadcast know we love an infield fly.
Absolutely.
And we just had one right there.
And that's a big first out, too, Joe, as Dolphins have been battling hard. Gave up 4 walks to give up the first run, and then the RBI double, or the RBI single, 2 RBI single to make it a 3-0 game, all before the first out. And the Dolphins, with an infield fly there, finally get the first out.
And we'll see if that gets Acosta going, as once again she finds the zone with her first pitch.
And Acosta seems to be really coming alive these last few batters.
Natalie Arbizu at the plate for the Wildcats. She shows bunt, and Acosta skips one to the backstop. That would be a wild pitch.
Yeah, not ideal, as that's going to move up both runners into scoring position and still only 1 out in the inning.
That evens up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. And Acosta misses again. Count runs to 2-1. Acosta's 2-1 is off the inside corner.
Now behind 3-1, in danger of walking. Another batter and loading the bases yet again.
First base is open, but you know the Dolphins don't want to run the risk of potentially forcing in a run with another walk. And Acosta stays in this at bat as that pitch is fouled away, and the count is now full at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, she needed that strike.
Big pitch upcoming here for Acosta. 3-2 on its way, and that's fought off foul. Arbizu was certainly late on that one, just fought it off.
Yeah, Natalie Arbizu doing a really good job here at the plate, battling with Acosta. Acosta, though, staying with it here with a full count.
The count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Anissa Acosta looking for a big second out in the bottom half of the first. Here comes another 3-2 pitch. And once again, that's fought off foul.
And 3 straight foul balls here from Arbizu. And the count's still full, still just 1 out in the inning. This battle continues.
And what a battle it has been between Acosta and Arbizu. Acosta has already thrown 21 pitches. Here comes another 3-2. And once again, that's fouled away and onto one of the other fields.
And they have to stop play real quick to grab that ball and get it out of there. Interesting, Joe.
Wise decision to stop play as that landed right near second base. Here comes another 3-2 pitch. And once again, that's fouled off.
I believe that was the 10th pitch of the at-bat for Arbizu. She continues to battle here with Acosta with a full count and 1 out in the inning.
What an at-bat this has been from the Wildcats' first baseman. Here comes another 3-2 pitch, and that is off the outside corner for ball 4.
What a battle, and it's Arbizu, unfortunately for the Dolphins, to win the battle. And she earns the 5th walk of the inning for the Wildcats and loads the bases once again. Still just 1 out in the inning. Acosta really needs to find a way to get her Dolphins out of this.
A base hit here could really put the Dolphins in a bad spot early. The bases are loaded, 1 out. And there's a big swing and a miss at that first pitch.
Yeah, Lauren Laudick going right after it here, wearing number 1 for the Wildcats. And behind 0-1 is a big swing and a miss at the first pitch.
Here comes the 0-1. And that's to the backstop. Mayer tracks it down, but not in time as Gomez comes in to score. Each runner moves up a base, and the Wildcats lead it 4-0.
And once again, a bad bounce. Beats the catcher, goes behind the backstop, and this time it's the Wildcats to cash in as they had a runner at third just waiting to go. She goes and makes it 4-0. And a 1-1 count here for Lauren Laudick.
The Dolphins will bring the infield in on the left side, playing normal depth on the right with first base open. And that pitch is in for a called strike 2.
And once again, another sneaky pitch there from Acosta, just getting the zone. Great job to get ahead in the count.
And there's a swing and a miss on that pitch. It wound up in the dirt, so Mayer was forced to complete the putout at first base.
A big second out on Lauren Laudick there. Runners at second and third for the Wildcats with 2 outs here. Let's see how the Dolphins can get out of this.
Anissa Acosta is up to 28 pitches in this first inning. That pitch is in for a strike. At the plate is Abby Husing. This is Husing's first at bat of the game. And she takes on the outside corner.
Well, she takes her first 2 pitches, and luckily for Acosta, both of them find the zone, and she's quickly ahead 0-2 and really trying to finish this inning out.
And the 0-2 pitch skips to the backstop yet again. Another wild pitch brings home a run, and the Wildcats lead at 5-0.
Well, there's nothing Mayer could do about that one. That one was way away from her. And once again, a runner waiting at third comes right home. And Wildcats piling it on now, 5-0 here in the first inning.
Dolphins mounted a threat in the first, did not score. And Mayer with a great block to prevent another run from scoring what would have been a wild pitch. That was about 1.5 feet outside the batter's box.
That was quite a skilled dive out from the box by Mayer. And she had to reach quite a bit to grab that. Otherwise, it could have been another wild pitch and maybe another run for the Wildcats.
That was a great play by Mayer to stop that ball as that's chopped on the infield right back to the circle. Acosta has it, and the throw just beats Husing for the final out of the inning, but not before the Wildcats strike for 5 runs. They lead CSI 5-0 after the first. And welcome back inside the Legend Sports Complex here on CSI Sportsnet as Alyssa Acosta will head to second base. Now the question there, Andrew, is would she have beaten the throw to first?
I'm not sure. That was a very close throw to first. I think she did. I think she beat it just by a hair.
All right, so that's going to be an infield single for Acosta. She advanced to second on a throwing error over at shortstop. And just like that, the Dolphins have a runner in scoring position.
And Alyssa Acosta was fortunate enough to get to second as she stumbled a little bit going around first. I don't think she expected that ball to come loose from the first baseman. And so she takes a little stumble trying to get to second, but nonetheless, she's able to put the Jets on and get over to second. Still nobody out in the inning. Dolphins are in good shape here to start the second inning.
So for those in the live chat right now, we are limited with the number of machines we have. We have one Mac running the stream. We're keeping that covered in a suitcase so it doesn't overheat. And then we have our stats laptop, which is running the live stats. So Andrew is tracking the stream chat on his phone. This is field 4, as that's lined into left field for a base hit by Madison Edwards. Acosta is being waved home. The throw is cut off, and the Dolphins are on the board.
Well, Dolphins with a quick answer, a base hit. And a big one to bring Alyssa Acosta home, and still 5-1, but a long game to go here. And Dolphins textbook softball there to get that run home.
So for the moment, the run is unearned. We will see if that changes. Rianne Mayer comes to the plate following the RBI single by Edwards. Now, as I was saying, Andrew, this is field 4. So if you're looking for the video, the stream is on field 4. We saw some of our viewers had that question. The next game will be on field 2. So if you're looking for game 2, it will be on field 2. If you're looking to access the Flow Sports softball stream. That's grounded to short. And the throw is high into center field. And I think I think the runner at first, Edwards, certainly would have been out there. However, that would have brought the run home. So the run becomes earned. Edwards is safe at second on the high throw. And the Dolphins now have 2 on and still nobody out.
Yeah, fortunate play, too. It started Madison Gomez goes after that, and she takes a stumble as well. They're over at shortstop trying to make the throw, and the throw goes haywire over into the outfield. And the Dolphins continue some offense here.
Over at shortstop, she stumbled, and the throw sailed into right field as a result. She lost her footing right as she planted to throw the ball, and with that, she lost the play. It was going to be a close play, but I think Edwards certainly would have been out.
I agree.
But going back to the previous run that was scored, we're going to make that an earned run for those of you who are interested in scoring decisions. That becomes an earned run now. The Dolphins lead, or I should say, the Wildcats lead 5-1, but the Dolphins are threatening.
There's still nobody out in the inning. Runners at first and second. They already got a quick run home in the inning.
Jessica Carrion is the batter. Corners are in. Carrion certainly a threat to bunt. She shows bunt and bunts one down the third base line. Foul ball.
That just rolled foul. That looked like it could have had a chance for Jessica Carrion and just rolls over the line. She's got to come back and do it again.
That was a smart play over at third base by Manzanares to let that ball roll, and then she scooped it up quickly as it looked like it might be headed back into fair territory. 0-1 the count on Carrion. And she fouls one straight back.
Joe, we've seen what this Dolphins offense is capable of through their first 2 games of the season. They combined for 16 runs. So if the Wildcats think that they're going to get through this one easily through their offense, we know what the Dolphins are capable of bringing.
No question about it. Here comes the 0-2, and that sails up high. After this, it's back to the top of the order for the Dolphins. Comes the 1-2, and that's it on the ground toward the middle of the diamond. And the only play is to first, as Carrion is retired for the first out. Both runners advance, and the Dolphins now have 2 in scoring position.
That was a slow roller right up the middle to second. And Wildcats are going to go with the easy out at first. But Dolphins have 2 in scoring position, as you mentioned, Joe, and down 4, but much in business here.
Mariah Carcano will come to the plate. She had a bunt single her first time. Once again, the corners are in, and Carcano takes a strike. Comes the 0-1. That's popped up. Shallow left. The catch is made, and Edwards is forced to hold at third.
Yeah, nowhere to go for Edwards there. Just a little too shallow on the pop-up. And so she'll stay put. 2 on, 2 outs. Coming up for Acosta.
Huge spot for Anissa Acosta right here. 2 in scoring position, 2 gone. In the roads, or excuse me, in the road second, that is correct. Hard to lose track of who the home team is in these games. Acosta takes ball 1. Here comes the 1-0. And that's hit through the middle and into right center field for a base hit. 2 runs will come in to score. And Acosta looks to advance on the throw. She's safe at second, and the Dolphins have cut into this lead. It is now 5-3 Wildcats.
What a superb job by Anissa Acosta. She rips that one right up the middle by everybody, bringing home 2 runs. Not only that, Joe, she's able to sneak right on by to second base, and she slides in there safely. What a play by Acosta, and now just a 2-run game.
Nicely done by Acosta. And that pitch is taken down and away.
Dolphins gave up 5 runs in that first inning, coming back with a strong answer here in their side of the second with 3 runs of their own. Now just a 2-run game, Joe.
Well, Andrew, I think our laptop is overheated. I can't access the stats.
That's terrible news.
So you'll have to help me out a bit here as I try and load the game back in.
Absolutely.
That could be problematic.
It's Funston at the plate. She has a 2-0 count with 2 outs in the inning.
We lost the whole inning, Andrew. So we'll have to recreate that inning.
How unfortunate.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. So, Andrew, why don't you take over? I'm going to try and catch back up here.
Of course, Joe. Acosta's got, or Funston rather, she has a 3-1 count as she takes that strike. She has Acosta over at second, 2 outs in the inning. And a big spot here for Funston. Runner in scoring position, up 3-1. Here's the pitch, hit on the ground softly, and this is going to bounce foul. And so Funston will go to a full count here. Acosta will go back to second.
So, Andrew, do you remember how Mayer got on base?
Believe a fielder's choice.
I think that was the next batter. I think that was Carry-On. Though Carry-On advanced the runners. This is certainly problematic, to put it mildly.
Absolutely. Funston is battling here with Felt as she tips that one away. Foul. Still with a full count. This is hit sharply on the ground. This gets by second. That's a base hit. Acosta is going to stay put at third as the throw comes home. And the Dolphins continue the inning. Funston now at first, Acosta at third with 2 outs in the inning. That's going to bring up Liz Moore to the plate. Liz Moore will look to continue this offense for the Dolphins as she goes at the first pitch, and that's going to be a base hit. Past third, Acosta comes home, and now it is just a 1-run ball game.
What a job by the Dolphins here with 2 outs as they are back to within a run. And what a start to this game. 9 runs in the first inning and a half.
Yeah, Joe, 5 runs in that first inning for the Wildcats. Dolphins come right back with an onslaught of their own here. Now just making it a 1-run game. It's 5-4. As that pitch is taken.
Andrew, you were right. She did reach on a fielder's choice. It was another error on the throw. You got it. I'm almost caught up.
Thought my memory served me correct on that one. As Balderas, has a 1-0 count. Runners at first and second with 2 outs in the inning. for Balderas. The 1-0 on the way. This is hit hard on the ground, down the middle. Another base hit for the Dolphins. Funston thought about coming home. She State's put it third, and now bases are loaded for the Dolphins.
CSI continuing the rally as I am caught up on the stats. I believe we are all caught up now.
Right on time to bring Alyssa Acosta to the plate, Joe, with bases loaded.
As happy as I am to be able to bring all of our viewers at home coverage of today's game, I'm here to stat the games first and foremost because all of the other schools are counting on me this week. So we have to make sure our stats are correct. And with a conference in the circle, I can correct that fielder's choice. So I believe I'm all caught up.
Yeah, Wildcats are going to definitely want to talk things over here. I mean, they led 5-0 coming into this inning, and that has completely gone by the wayside as now it's just a one-run game, and Alyssa Acosta has a big chance not only to tie it with a base hit, but could definitely take the lead with a deep enough base hit. First pitch on the way to Acosta is off the plate for ball one. Alyssa Acosta's already come home to score. As that pitch is taken for a strike to even up the count at 1. Bases are loaded, 2 outs in the inning. Dolphins a race. That one hit high into center, and it's caught out at center field to finally end the inning for the Wildcats. A strong hit there by Acosta, but nonetheless, Wildcats able to finish the inning. They lead it 5-4, heading to their side of the second. We are back for the start of the home second for the Wildcats. It's the top of the order for the Wildcats, so leading off is Riley Holmberg. Stoneman on deck. Dolphins trail just by a run now, as that first pitch is in the zone for strike one for Holmberg. Dolphins trailed 5-0 after the first inning. Went into that second inning. We're able to tack on 4 runs and deficit now just 1 run. Let's see how the defense contains that as that one sails up high off the glove. In and out of the glove there of Mayer. Sails to the backstop. It's 1-1.
All right, Andrew, we have recovered. We're all the way back. I had to score the entire previous inning again off of memory. Thank you for your assist. We're back in business from behind home plate, and it's back to the top of the order for the Wildcats. The 1-1 pitch to Holmberg is hit out into right field, and over the outstretched glove of Acosta, it rolls all the way to the fence. Holmberg is into third, standing with a leadoff triple.
That's big for Holmberg, as that just gets over the glove of Alyssa Acosta there in right center, and she's got to chase that as that takes a bad roll all the way to the wall. And so Holmberg finds herself standing at third, nobody out in the inning, and once again, Wildcats in business looking to add on to their lead.
First pitch to Stoneman from Acosta is taken on the outside corner.
Good first pitch by Acosta. Able to just catch that corner and get the first strike.
Louisa Stoneman at the plate for the Wildcats. Unfortunately, Stat Crew only has last names. And our ability to see in the sunlight, a bit impeded at the moment. Count evens up at 1-1 with that last pitch. Runner on third, nobody out for Wayne State. Long look in from Acosta. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, and that sails up and away.
That one gets away from her, looking for that corner again, and now she finds herself behind 2-1 here to Vidlak, or Stoneman rather.
2-1. Off the inside corner for ball 3.
Vidlak is in the on-deck circle for the Wildcats.
3-1 the count. And Acosta's pitch sails up and away for ball 4.
Yeah, Acosta really trying to look for that outside corner and trying to get the batter looking, and just doesn't work those last few pitches. And an earned walk there for Stoneman. So that now runners at the corners for the Wildcats with nobody out, and that brings up Vidlak.
And the pitch to Vidlak is hit in the air, out to center. It's carrying well. This will get a run in, and the catch is made as a run comes home on the sacrifice fly.
Yeah, sacrifice fly gets far enough into center to bring home the run. Wildcats able to easily extend their lead by 2.
Vidlak chases home a run. Stoneman was forced to hold at first. One away in the inning now as the first pitch to Gomez sails up high. And that pitch misses inside.
Yeah, Costa still trying to find those corners. Needs to start getting in a little tighter here with these pitches now behind 2-0 in the count.
And the 2-0 catches the outside corner. No action in the Dolphins' bullpen. This inning, for now, belongs to Acosta.
Yeah, we had that early change in the game. 3 walks and no outs into it. Miramontes came out for Acosta.
And that pitch catches the outside corner once again, evening up the count at 2-2.
Acosta's been hanging in there ever since Miramontes exited in that first inning, Joe.
She's up to about 45 pitches, but I may be a bit off as that misses high for ball 3. Now, we do keep track of the pitch count. However, we lost it for Wayne State during the previous inning after our program crashed. Comes the payoff pitch, and that misses inside for ball 4.
Lots of walks being issued today by the Dolphins, and they're definitely going to want to start limiting that. As we saw in that first inning, that was the reason for a couple of runs, just straight off walks. And the Dolphins really need to tighten it up in the circle here.
Dolphin pitching has issued 7 walks already as that pitch misses low, and Costa wasn't sure where that missed.
Yeah, definitely not too happy about that call.
Haley Murphy is the batter. Murphy is 1 for 1. Drove in a couple in the first inning. Count even here at 1-1.
Good job by Acosta there to find the inside part of the zone. Evens up the count.
Acosta's best pitches have been on that inside corner to right-handed hitters. As that's hit softly and over the outstretched glove of Balderas at short. Throw goes to third, not in time. As the runner Stoneman was forced to hold, that play was awfully close at third.
Definitely close, and that just gets over the head of Balderas there at short. Luckily, it took a little fall at the lip of the infield and the outfield, and she was able to just pick it up quickly, and that throw to third almost gets the runner out, but nonetheless, Wildcats have bases loaded and 1 out in the inning.
That was really close at third, Andrew. Really close.
Definitely thought they had a chance for the second out there, for sure.
At the plate now is Anika Manzanares. Manzanares 0 for 1 in the game and hits that one foul. Acosta ahead 0-2 here. Hasn't gotten the chance to work from ahead in the count much.
Yeah, not too many 0-2 counts here today so far.
Not for the Dolphins, as that sails up and away. I mentioned the 7 walks, but a lot of these at-bats for the Wildcats have been good at-bats where they've battled, they haven't chased bad pitches, were fooled at times, but their plate appearances have been solid.
Absolutely.
And that was swung on and barely foul tipped by Manzanares. She stays alive.
Wow, I didn't think that was tipped.
I didn't hear it, but given that Mayer wasn't able to pull it in, I think it's safe to assume it was tipped. As I always say, the man with the best view made the call. Count remains 1-2 on Manzanares. Acosta looking for a big third strike. Here's the pitch. And once again, that's fouled away. By my tally, Acosta has reached 55 pitches. That should be about right. If anything, it's too low. She could be pushing 60, as Manzanares takes just inside. The Fanatics in the stands wanted that call, Andrew.
Now, I was just going to say the entire Dolphins dugout and the Fanatics over that way wanted that strikeout, and they didn't get it. And Garofalo was Coach Garofalo was a little unhappy with that as well.
Once again, Manzanares fights that one off foul. And she is making Acosta work here. It's pushing 90 degrees here in Claremont. Both teams in all black uniforms, or at the very least, black jersey tops. The Wildcats are in all black, including the pants, as Acosta finds the inside corner for a called strike 3. Huge punch out for Acosta, and there are now 2 away.
Great work by Acosta. A couple times she and the rest of her team thought she had the strikeout in that at-bat and just kept working, and eventually she got it, and that's a big second out of the inning.
Big at-bat here in this game for both teams. As Natalie Arbizu skies one into shallow center. That's down for a base. 1 run is in, and the second run is cut down at the plate, and the inning is over. And hold on a second.
I don't know about that, Joe.
We have a call along the third base line that has negated the out at home plate, and 2 runs are in.
The first one was definitely safe. The second runner was definitely not safe.
I think they may have called catcher's obstruction.
Catcher's obstruction.
Is that the call?
We got it from down low.
All right.
By a spectator.
Catcher's obstruction on the line. We're right on it. The spectators with the assist. Thank you very much from behind home plate.
A couple of spectators right down low, ready for that call.
That ball just got over the glove of Balderas once again. Big hit for Arbizu at the plate.
And that extends the lead to 4. 8-4 game here in just the third inning, or just the bottom of the second.
Dolphins scored 4 in the top half. The Wildcats have gotten 3 back. It looked like the Dolphins were out of the inning. Lauren Laudick is the batter. She's ahead in the count here, 1-0. And she takes ball 2. Laudick at the plate, 0 for 1 in the game. And that's chopped on the ground softly to short, and it was booted. I think that's going down as an infield single anyway. Balderas had to wait. I don't think she had any chance to get Laudick at first.
Yeah, Balderas had to wait for that bounce to come down, and it was a tricky bounce to handle. And so the inning continues for the Wildcats here. Bases are loaded.
As I mentioned before, we had a pivotal at-bat in the game earlier in this inning. Another huge at-bat here.
And a huge first strike there to catch the outer part of the zone for Acosta.
She gets ahead of Abby Husing, 0-1. And it's just so important for Acosta to pitch from ahead in the count. And she almost hit Husing with that pitch.
Yeah, Husing had to wince out of the way there as that was headed up towards her shoulders.
Husing, a left-handed batter, out of the bottom of the order for the Wildcats. Here comes the 1-1. And that misses outside. Count now 2 balls and 1 strike on the Wildcats' second baseman. And Husing has a chance to break this game open once again. Her team led 5-0 entering this inning. They now lead 8-4. And the 2-1 catches the outside corner.
Another great pitch on the outside corner to just catch that zone. And that's where Anissa Acosta is strong, freezing up her batters at times.
She's worked the outer half to lefties, the inside corner against righties, and she catches the corner with that pitch for a called strike 3. Big strikeout for Acosta, but the Wildcats get 3 runs back in the bottom half of the second. 12 runs on the scoreboard through 2 innings. Wayne State leads 8-4. And we are back from the Legends Sports Complex. It's been quite the marathon so far. 12 runs in the first 2 innings. Wayne State leads Staten Island 8-4. And the first pitch in the 3rd inning is on the outside corner for a called strike 1 to Madison Edwards.
Yeah, the offense has been back and forth in this one so far, Joe. 5 runs for the Wildcats in that first. Dolphins come back with 4 in the second. Here's a hit high into left center.
That's it well to left, but the catch is made. And Edwards is quickly retired for out number 1.
As I was mentioning, Joe, 5 runs for the Wildcats in that first. Dolphins come right back with 4 of their own in that second. Wildcats don't stop there as they come right back with 3 more in that bottom of the second. It's an 8-4 game, just 2 full innings into this.
What a start to this one, as that pitch misses down and away to Rianne Mayer. Mayer is 1 for 1. That pitch finds the zone. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Comes the 1-1. That's well outside.
Good battle here by Mayer. Up ahead in the count, 2-1. Just 1 out in the inning. See if she can get things going offensively once again for the Dolphins.
2-1 on its way, and that misses badly for ball 3.
Yeah, really in a good spot now is Mayer. 3-1 count, always a spot you want to be in as a hitter.
There was early action in the Dolphins, but that is now quiet as that pitch is in for a called strike 2. Three and 2 the count on the Dolphins catcher. And that's in for a called strike 3. Mayer couldn't believe it.
Yeah, Mayer couldn't believe it. That was a little controversial, Joe, as that pitch was a little high. Nonetheless, 2 quick outs, 2 up, 2 down for the Dolphins in their side of the third.
Well, I'll tell you, Andrew, Mayer's reaction certainly sold her opinion on that call to me. She had to dance out of danger on that pitch. That pitch ran up and in. As Carrion hits one on the ground to second, and she's retired on 1 pitch for the final out in the top half of the third. Dolphins go down 1-2-3. Our score remains 8-4, Wayne State over Staten Island. And we are back from the Legend Sport Complex. This is the 2023 Spring Games, and Dolphins have made a change in the circle. Alexis Miramontes back in. Anissa Acosta moves over to first. And I believe with that, the Dolphins lose their designated player. Though they could have Funston re-enter the game for Miramontes when her turn at bat comes. So we'll see what the Dolphins do here. That pitch is hit on the ground to second, handled easily. And the first out is recorded quickly as Riley Holmberg goes down on 2 pitches.
Yeah, Joe, a little interesting to bring Miramontes back into this one after the start that she had to this game. And, you know, we've seen in the past seasons what she's capable of in the circle. Today's start, not the best. She gave up 4 straight walks, and then that resulted in the first run, and then she was taken out of the game. But let's see what kind of resurgence she has here as she re-enters in the bottom of the third.
I had her at about 17 pitches before she came out of the game. She issued 3 walks in the first, Andrew? Yes, 3 walks.
3 walks, not 4. That was
walks.
my mistake. 3 walks.
3 walks. Acosta issued 4.
Acosta came in.
3.
Yeah, right. It was 4 walks in a row.
One and 1 the count. The batter is Louisa Stoneman, and she's now ahead 2 balls and 1 strike. So hopefully I'm correct, and the Dolphins have lost the designated player. Otherwise, our stats aren't right. As that pitch skips in for ball 3. Comes the 3-1, and that misses for ball 4.
Another walk here for Miramontes as she comes back out to the circle. And that's basically where she left off when she left the game with walks. And she really needs to start finding that strike zone if she wants to stay in this game and bring the Dolphins some success here defensively.
3 spot in the order now. Kim Vidlak, the batter. And she lines one down the left field line, and it falls for a base hit. Stoneman forced to stop at second. And Vidlak is on with her first hit of the game. It's a 1-out single.
Yeah, Vidlak wastes no time, gets all of that ball down the left field line and deep. Luckily for the Dolphins, they're able to get that ball in quickly and stop the runners at first and second.
Madison Gomez will be the batter. Gomez has scored a couple of runs. She's without an official plate appearance in the game. And she takes a called strike. Here comes the 0-1. That skips in.
Even count here, Miramontes needs to bring those pitches up a little bit, as the last few batters, their pitches have been very low. Needs to bring those up just a little bit.
Comes the 1-1. And that misses outside. Do we happen to know where the scoreboard operator is seated? Has to be in the room behind us, right?
Yeah, I don't see anybody below us to either the left or the right dugouts anywhere, or in front, right behind the home plate. There's nobody sitting at this table, just a few spectators, so I guess it has to be behind us.
Okay. So they're missing an out on the scoreboard. Here comes the 3-1, and that's high for ball 4.
Now, Joe, I was going to mention that. I thought there was already an out.
There certainly is. Holmberg was retired on a ground ball to second. So there's one out, and there it is. Are they listening to us on the stream?
Could be.
Very smart. I'm always the first to notice when the scoreboard is missing something because I call the game almost exclusively off the scoreboard. As that's hit to third, Moore goes the short way at the plate. The run is easily cut down, and there are now 2 gone on the fielder's choice. Murphy went after the first pitch.
Yeah, she goes after the first pitch, doesn't work out for her. As the Dolphins try to pull off the double play there to finish the inning. They get the runner going home, and they stop the Wildcats from extending their lead. Is a good throw back to home, gets that runner. But the Wildcats stay with bases loaded here, 2 outs in the inning.
Looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here. Perhaps a pinch runner. We'll see. There's a change coming. Andrew, can you get me a number on the batter, please?
Number 3.
Thank you. What was that, Andrew? 3?
3?
Just needed to hear you say it again. That's a running joke amongst our game day crew. You may be familiar if you tuned in with us last year. Pinch hitter is Dylan Sweeney, and she takes inside for ball 1. Bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom half of the third. Wayne State leads Staten Island 8-4, and this is a big at-bat in this game once again. That pitch is chopped foul. Sweeney barely got a piece.
It's very bizarre, the Dolphins at this point of the game out-hitting the Wildcats and down by 4 runs.
That's what walks will do to you. 9 walks in the game between the 2 Dolphins pitchers, but Miramontes is now a strike away from escaping trouble.
Looks a lot better so far in this inning than when she started this game.
Count here on Sweeney is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch on its way, and that's hit softly to second, but the Dolphins will have a play over at first. The out is recorded, and the inning is over. For the first time today, a scoreless inning. No runs in the third.
Interesting.
Wayne State leads Staten Island 8-4. And we're back here on CSI Sportsnet. Joe Foreman rejoining you alongside Andrew Rotundo. Fourth inning about to get started. Mariah Carcano, the batter, and she takes high for ball one.
Yeah, showing bunt there to start this inning, and instead takes that ball up high for ball one. Playing a little conservative to start this inning. Good to see from Carcano.
Carcano, no surprise to see her bunting, or attempting to bunt, as she swings the bat there and grounds out to second. Carcano had a bunt hit earlier. Also, we mentioned that we had a pinch hitter, Dylan Sweeney, in the previous half inning. Anika Manzanares back into the game over at third base for the Wildcats.
It's hard to believe that we have 12 runs in this game. By the looks of this last inning and a half, is not a whole lot of anything going on since that onslaught from both teams.
Well, Andrew, I'll tell you, as that's lofted over to second, and that was caught on the fly. So Acosta is out. Anissa Acosta, that is. She's retired on one pitch. And now Amelia Funston's back into the game. So I may have messed up the lineup here. We'll see. We'll re-enter Funston in Miramontes' spot. And if Miramontes comes back in the circle, then I need to make some changes here.
That's 2 outs and 3 pitches for Sammy Felt. And the Wildcats defense.
And Funston takes out of the zone. She's ahead 2-0. I have a feeling I made a mistake somewhere, Andrew. Hopefully I'm wrong. We'll see if Miramontes comes back in. I don't see how the Dolphins didn't lose their designated player, as that's in for a called strike one.
And taking all the way there was Funston, as she was looking for the 3-0 count. She'll take a 2-1.
Funston takes down and away for ball 3.
Some good takes here by Funston. She's being rewarded 3-1 count. Very good position here.
That's hitting the right center field, but there's room out there. And the catch is made in center by Holmberg for the final out of the inning. So Miramontes is headed back in. I have some substitution changes to make. And the Wildcats lead the Dolphins 8-4.
We are back for the bottom of the 4th inning. This is Andrew Rotundo on the call alongside Joe Foreman. Joe's working out a few things there on the stats, as stats not fully cooperating with us today, as that bounces away from the plate, and it's a 2-0 count early for Natalie Arbizu at the plate. Natalie Arbizu with a hit, 2 runs batted in, and a walk already on the day. She takes that for a called strike.
Well, Andrew, I'm just trying to figure out how the Dolphins configured their substitutions. That's the issue we're having right now.
I was very confused when Miramontes came back in.
I'm sure it's very simple and we're just missing it, but when the subs aren't passed to you directly, it's easy to make a mistake. But perhaps we do have it right, and I'm just missing something. We'll try and go back through it again shortly.
Yeah, Miramontes behind 3-1. Let's see what she does here. 3-1 on the way to Arbizu. That's a called strike. Great job to find the outer part of the zone, and it's a full count now for Arbizu. Good battle here between Arbizu and Miramontes.
As I said before, the Wildcats have had some very nice at-bats. If I'm not mistaken, Arbizu was a part of that, had a battle earlier in the game, as that's fouled away. Now going back to the first inning, Miramontes exited the game. She was in, if I have the lineup card, it's on my phone, so I can't look at it right now. But she was in as the starting pitcher, and the flex player was Funston. That pitch is in for a called strike 3 to Arbizu. She goes down looking, and there's one away.
That's a big strikeout for Miramontes. Arbizu's been busy today at the plate, and she's been a very tough out. And not only does Miramontes get her out, she strikes her out. That's a big first out of the inning. And Joe, Alexis Miramontes, she started this game as the 1 and flex.
Okay.
According to
so
this.
The DH was over at first base. I mean, the DH was Funston, who was batting third.
Correct.
Okay. So they get a DH and a flex. That's what I was missing.
Correct.
That's what I was missing. That would do it. And that's grounded through the left side for a base hit. On with a single is Lauren Laudick. That's her second hit of the game. And the Wildcats have a 1-out base runner.
This is part of the order, it seems, today for the Dolphins. Arbizu and Laudick. Really tough at bats. So.
And we're going to have a pinch hitter coming up here. So, Andrew, if you can get me that number in a moment.
Absolutely.
I'll take that. Andrew's the spotter and the color commentator today. I'm on play-by-play and stats.
17.
Got it. Pinch hitter into the game, as we mentioned, for the Wildcats. Time's been called down on the field. Morgan Beatty will come to the plate. Runner on first is Laudick. Miramontes the pitcher, and her first pitch is fouled back.
And Miramontes has definitely looked a lot stronger here since coming back into this game. Got through the last inning. Not really much of a problem. Didn't give up any runs. And already ahead 0-1 with 1 out in this inning. There is a runner on at first.
Here comes the 0-1. That sails up and away. One ball and 1 strike the count on the Wayne State pinch hitter. And the 1-1 is fouled straight back. We noted this last year. Miramontes doesn't strike out many batters. Has a very effective drop pitch. Her off-speed stuff is good. And when she mixes that in, oftentimes gets hitters off balance, but that swing and miss has been elusive for her.
Absolutely.
And that's it out to center. And Carcano makes the catch.
Good catch out at center. Right underneath it is Carcano for the second out. And you mentioned the strikeouts. Miramontes, it's very rare we see strikeouts from Miramontes, and that strikeout against Arbizu is definitely rare, as Arbizu's been working very hard at the plate for these Wildcats today.
No question about it. They've had a lot of good at-bats. I've said it many times already. Dolphins had some nice at-bats in that second inning as well. CSI was in attack mode. They also caught some breaks in the field. At the plate now is Riley Holmberg. She's behind in the count, 0-1, after a strike looking. And that's lofted, foul territory, and it falls out of play.
Miramontes just 1 strike away from getting out of another scoreless inning.
Well, you said it, Andrew. Miramontes has been much stronger since coming back into the game. I'll tell you, for me, this kind of weather has been a massive adjustment, and I haven't moved.
Oh, I can agree.
Still beats the frigid temperatures in New York.
This heat is pretty brutal, though.
Yes, it certainly is. Now, Game 2 is scheduled for 4:30. It's almost 3:40 right now. So we'll see when that game gets started. We have plans for later. May have to put off the dinner reservation. Here comes the 1 and 2. And that's a half swing, but Holmberg went around. Commentators jinx, Andrew. Miramontes picks up the strikeout, and we're headed to the 5th. Wayne State over Staten Island 8-4.
We're back for inning number 5 here at the spring games. Dolphins and Wildcats. Wildcats lead it 8-4. The Dolphins lead it off here. 0-1 is the count. That's taken down low. Another strike. And it's a quick 0-2 count here.
That one in at the knees to Elizabeth Moore. She's quickly in a 2-strike call as I had to get the substitution back into the game at second. And Moore strikes out. So Moore goes down swinging on 3 pitches, and there's quickly one away here in the 5th.
And nicely done by Sammy Felt there. Just 3 pitches, 1, 2, 3. Hits the first batter, and it's already one quick out for the Dolphins in their side of the 5th.
That will bring Eileen Balderas to the plate, and she takes a called strike. Now, Andrew, that is still Felt on the mound wearing 8, right? That's not a 0?
That is 8.
Okay,
That's Felt.
Thank you. And her 0-1 pitch misses inside. We're fairly close to the action, but we're watching the game through a fence of metal columns and the backstop. So not a perfect sight line, but serviceable enough. And Andrew, I think for Game 2, we have to head down behind home plate, wherever we're calling the game.
Yeah, it would definitely make a world of difference.
Yes, I agree. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count on Balderas now. That pitch is popped foul off the backstop.
Our photographer, Marquise Pickering, came up with a pretty good idea. Should get a tent.
Marquise is full of great ideas. Don't doubt him for a moment. And once again, that's fought off foul. Both teams with 7 hits in this game. All 12 runs were scored in the first 2 innings. We just passed the halfway point. This game about an hour and a half old as that's popped up on the infield, and the catch is made over at third for the second out.
And once again, Sammy Felt making good work here in the circle, still out there in the 5th inning, and once again, 2 up, 2 down for the Dolphins. It's the second inning in a row.
Doesn't get any easier than that for Manzanares over at third. And with 2 gone in the inning, Alyssa Acosta will be the batter. Acosta in this game, 1 for 2 at the plate, has scored a run, and she takes ball 1. Well, I will say, Andrew, the breeze is a bit better now. You and I, very fair complexion for both of us. We are burning to a crisp behind the plate here.
Specifically my left arm, as I have the sun to my left. And my left arm is leaning, and I have the rest of my body blocking the rest, my right arm. So, red and white.
A bit of background. Andrew and I had a 10 p.m. flight last night after calling CSI Dolphins baseball down by the Staten Island Ferry, for those of you watching from Staten Island. Our flight was delayed until nearly midnight. We got in at 2 a.m., arrived at the hotel at 4 a.m., and Alyssa Acosta arrives at first base with a 2-out single.
And a good segue there, Joe, as Alyssa Acosta gets her second hit of the game, and the Dolphins are in business, 2 outs. I'll count them out yet in this inning.
That's why I love the ad reads, Andrew. It's because I'm a master of the segue. I pride myself on that. I think I did pretty well right there. But Andrew and I did not have time to stop for sunscreen. That was the point of the story. And that's hit softly on the ground to short by Edwards. Once again, it's booted, and the Dolphins now have 2 on with 2 outs.
Yeah, Edwards had a real tough time there handling that ball in the dirt. Just couldn't seem to pick it up out of the dirt, acting as if a little quicksand was below her. And couldn't pick that ball up and get it out of the grasp of the dirt, and now Dolphins 2 on, 2 out.
So Edwards is on via the error. Gomez charged with the error. That's her 3rd of the game. Rianne Mayer, the batter, and she takes a called strike. Mayer is 0 for 2 at the plate with a run scored. Reached on a fielder's choice earlier. Big spot here for the Dolphins catcher, and she takes a ball.
Wildcats dugout didn't seem to like that. They thought that was a strike.
I'm with them. I did too. Mayer is very active in the batter's box, leans out of the way. And that's hit into shallow center. That's down for a base hit. Both runners will move up a base, and the Dolphins now have the bases loaded with 2 outs, and Jessica Carrion coming to the plate.
Well, those 2 outs not phasing the Dolphins in this inning, as they had nobody on with 2 outs, and now all of a sudden bases loaded with 2 outs. A couple of great base hits here from the Dolphins, and unfortunately that one was a line drive right to center, gotten back in quickly, so they have to hold up at the bases, but nonetheless, definitely in business here in their side of the 5th.
Well, the Dolphins did some damage back in the second inning with 2 outs. They scored 3 runs. All of those were unearned. As that pitch misses outside, and Carrion is ahead in the count 1-0. Carrion is 0 for 2 at the plate.
Joe Felt has to be up towards at least 78 pitches at this point.
Well, we have her at 44 because we lost an entire inning. But I think you're right. She has to be pushing between 60 and 70 pitches. And that last one finds the strike zone to Carrion. The count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike.
And it looks like still no work in the bullpen of the Wildcats either.
And Carrion with an ugly swing there. Falls behind 1-2. One and two the count on Carrion. Felt looking for one more big pitch to get out of trouble. Dolphins hoping for a big RBI hit. Here comes the pitch. And did Carrion hold up? Yes, she did. Boy, oh boy, Andrew, that was close.
That was as close as it comes, Joe. Wow.
It got very quiet.
It did.
Here at Field 4 of the Legends Sports Complex. Everyone on the edge of their seats waiting for that call. Here comes the 2-2. That's it on the ground, softly to second, and the underhand toss to first is in time to retire Carrion for the final out of the inning. The Dolphins strand, the bases loaded. They still trail by 4. Our score headed into the bottom half of the 5th. Wayne State 8, Staten Island 4. I try. We're back. As Andrew and I were conversing during the break, we tried to be great, is what we were discussing. We hope you're enjoying this audio-only broadcast, live from the spring games in Claremont, Florida. This is the bottom half of the 5th inning. Wayne State College leads the College of Staten Island 8-4. Alexis Miramontes back to the mound, or I should say to the circle. First time this season, Andrew. Louisa Stroman at the plate. And with that swing and miss, the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Joe, I can't say I haven't made that mistake.
We all have. We've all been there. They made that mistake on public address twice on Friday.
Oh, boy.
That was not our home game, as that pitch is taken low for a ball. And it's been a pet peeve of our athletic communications department since day one when I stepped in. Do not call it the mound in softball. It is the circle. We are a stickler for that detail collectively, as that gets past more and into left field.
Definitely, yeah. It rolled right by her glove, just an inch or two, and a lucky play there for the Wildcats to get that base hit. Nonetheless, nobody out and a runner on at first.
I know someone who might have given that an error. He would be wrong, but I know someone who might have. Maybe he's watching.
I was just going to say, I know exactly who you're talking about. I wonder if he's tuning in.
Be curious to know, as that's it out to straightaway center, and the catch is made on the run by Carcano. Vidlak retired on one pitch. She hit that ball well.
Definitely hit that ball on a line. Carcano had to rush over to that, and she's right there for it. Good hustle there by Carcano for the first out.
Not much wind here at the Legend Sports Complex, much to our chagrin. And that pitch is in for a called strike. Madison Gomez at the plate. She's behind 0-1. And she takes down and away. Gomez is still without an official at-bat. Has scored twice.
3 walks. Wow.
Drove in a run via the base on balls. She was the 4th consecutive walk to open the game. That's where the RBI came from. And we have a ball on the field. Now, the field to our right is downhill. Broadcasting that field from up here would be quite the vantage point. If you see it to our right, Andrew.
Oh, yeah, we could see right over the netting.
It's a beautiful complex here in Claremont.
Much bigger than I thought it would be. Very, very nice.
Very nice. We've worked in a lot of nice facilities. This near the top of the list. The accommodation's not bad either. All we need is some coverage. That exists behind home plate. Maybe next game.
Hopefully.
That's it down the line in right field. And the catch is made on the run. I had to look over to the Dolphins' dugout, but the play is made in right field.
Yeah, Alyssa Acosta, I had a little bit more of a vantage point from over here, just a few feet away from you, Joe, is running down the right field line there, and she's able to get into foul territory, make the grab. Another good hustle play there by the Dolphins in the outfield.
Nicely done by Acosta in right. 2 gone in the inning. Pitching for both sides has really settled down these last 3 innings. And Miramontes is through the 5th untouched. 1 pitch, and Murphy is retired on the ground ball. We head to the 6th. The Dolphins trail 8-4. And we're back for the 6th inning. Top of the order due up for the Dolphins as they look to work their way back into this thing. They trail by 4 runs. All 4 CSI runs came in the 2nd. Mariah Carcano gets things started for the Dolphins in the road 6th. And Carcano chops one to the left side. Tough hop, handled nicely. And the throw is into the fence, I believe. Did they bring that in at first base? What happened, Andrew?
I thought they had brought it in, and I was waiting for the call from the first base umpire, and
I think the throw may have been dropped.
I think it was dropped ever so slightly.
Now, did the throw beat her, or was she safe?
No, I think she was safe. There's another one.
Then she beat the throw, is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it wouldn't have mattered. All right, Carcano credited with an infield single then. That's the important part to me. That was a great play over at shortstop on that hop by Gomez.
Yeah, tricky bounce to handle.
On the first pitch of the following at bat, Anissa Acosta flies out to left center. So very quickly, there's one out. We give Carcano a single there. We'll see if that changes later. But that was a close play at first. I thought for sure she was out if the ball had been caught. But it looks like that wasn't the case.
No, I don't think that was the case at all, Joe.
All right, she beat the throw. Nicely done by Carcano. Amelia Funston, the batter. And Funston takes out of the zone. Comes the 1-1. That's it well to right field, but the catch is made on the run. Nice play out there in right field by Stoneman. Throw goes behind Carcano. She's back into first safely, and there are 2 away.
What a catch there out at right center, having to make that play. And the throw back, Carcano was caught off a little far from the bag, and she had to hustle back to first. So 2 outs now in the inning for the Dolphins with Carcano still at first.
Liz Moore is the batter, and she takes a strike.
Joe, after 12 runs in just 2 innings, 4 scoreless innings.
Can't say I expected that turn as Moore takes up high. Moore is 1 for 3 at the plate in the game. She had an RBI base hit earlier. The 1-1 pitch on its way here. And that's hit hard, but foul. Just wide of the third base bag.
Just foul.
Not by much.
Definitely not by much.
Not by much.
Basically painted the left field line.
One ball and 2 strikes to count on the Dolphins' third baseman. Carcano, the runner at first. Good speed over there. Here comes the 1-2. And that's hit hard down the line, but foul.
Very similar to the last swing, and foul. She's feeling it right now, Moore is.
That sure was a very similar looking swing. Moore just a bit ahead of that pitch. But she appears very comfortable at that ball inside. We'll see if Felt looks to work away here. That's popped up and straight into the glove of the third baseman, Manzanares. That'll do it for the top half of the 6th. The Dolphins strand a runner over at first. They still trail by 4, heading to the home half of the 6th inning. And we are back from the Legends Sports Complex just in time for Corinne DiMartini to make her Dolphins debut. Her first pitch sails up high. As far as we know, that's the only change for the Dolphins. Sometimes a bit tough to tell from our perspective. No numbers on the front of CSI's uniforms today. But DiMartini into the game in the circle. And Andrew, all of a sudden, the sky's getting a bit dark out here.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that to you, Joe. All of a sudden, we were burning just a few minutes ago, and now feeling a nice cool breeze and a little dark.
Now, I think we might be able to salvage the stream if we back up, but if the weather gets bad, we have to shut it down immediately. So keep that in mind. As that ground ball goes to short, and Manzanares is retired for the first out in the bottom half of the sixth.
And hopefully, with the way the pace is going of this game, hopefully, if there is any weather heading our way, that this game can finish before then. No danger to the equipment.
Well, we have a score sheet imbalance. I've never seen that before, as that's fouled away.
Once again, into the field to the left of us, Joe.
They'll have to stop play over there, and I'll have to figure out what's going on here. We had to make a change in the box score during the break between innings. We had two first basemen in the game. After we thought Funston had re-entered at first base, we could probably find the error in here somewhere. That should fix our issue. Count 1 ball and 1 strike here. At the plate is Natalie Arbizu. She's now ahead 2-1.
Yeah, Arbizu's had quite the day. 1 hit, 2 runs batted in, and a walk. And just 2 official at-bats.
Arbizu takes high. I thought that was ball 3, but I might be mistaken. I got that error message, and needless to say, I was a bit distracted.
No, I think the count's right.
Okay. We'll delete that last pitch.
Oh.
Never doubt Foreman, Andrew.
Nope, I doubted you.
That's ball 4.
That is ball 4. I trusted the scoreboard.
Big mistake. All right, so we have a score sheet imbalance of 34 at-bats and 32 putouts on the Wayne State side. I've never seen that before. It was prompted by that change I made between innings, so I'm sure I can undo it. But that's going to take some work.
The sun's starting to find its way back out here, Joe.
Too bad. It was nice under cloud coverage.
Yeah, that cool breeze definitely felt great.
Lauren Laudick is the batter, and she lines one into left center field. Arbizu will go first to third. Laudick headed for second, and she's in with a stand-up double.
Some speedy running there by Laudick. His line drive into left center. That was gotten back in pretty nicely, but no match for the speed of Laudick. Now runners at second and third, and just 1 out for the Wildcats.
That will bring Abby Husing to the plate. Husing was pinch hit for earlier in the game. She looked to bunt at that first pitch and takes a called strike. And the 0-1 sails upstairs. And she's going to have a word with her third base coach ahead of this next pitch.
Yeah, the same goes for Mayer and DiMartini.
We would presume that's Christy Warnock coaching third base. Head coach for this Wildcat softball team. In most cases, the head coach is over at third. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike on the Wildcats' second baseman. Pitch from DiMartini on its way, and that's swung on and missed for strike 2.
Big swing and miss. DiMartini, rising fastball there. 1-2 now.
DiMartini looking for one more big strike. And that's hit in the air. Foul territory and out of play.
Yeah, nobody could get to that. That went off the fencing of that bullpen area down towards the left.
Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Fly ball here could score a run. The Dolphins have the infield in all around, a huge hole up the middle. DeMartini toes the rubber. Here comes the 1-2. That sails high. Two balls and 2 strikes, the count now. DeMartini continues to battle, and the pitch is hit to the left side, and that is booted at short by Balderas. She wanted to come home and tried to rush it, and I think that cost her the play.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Joe. She tried to rush it a little bit and tried to throw that ball before she even had it in her hand and just couldn't really pick it up. That results in a run for the Wildcats. They extend their lead 9-4 now here in the bottom of the 6th.
So Husing reaches on the error. Now, we have to decide whether or not we think they had a play at the plate or if they would have gone to first base. A lot to unpack on that play.
Yeah, there were quite a few options there.
It was going to be close at the plate. I think they had a play, so you can't give an RBI in that spot as the runner heads for second, and the throw is off the glove of Edwards.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate, and that's going to cost the Dolphins a run. As Lauren Laudick rounds third and comes home. 10-4 now, Wildcats, on a couple of unfortunate plays there for the Dolphins.
A run comes home on that error over at second. That's going to be the official scoring there. That's definitely a play that should have been made by the second baseman, Edwards.
And not only did she fail to make the catch, it rolled so far away from her.
Right now, the first run that came in will be unearned, but we'll see if that changes. Should say the second run. The first run that scored in this inning is earned. I don't think there was going to be a play at the plate there if Balderas made that play. She had a play at first for sure, as that's lofted into shallow center. That's down for a base hit. 1 run is in.
Well, the offense comes alive for the Wildcats for the first time since that second inning. As we mentioned, 8 runs in the first 2 innings for them, nothing since. And here in this inning, they've added now 3 runs all of a sudden and patted on to their lead. It is now 11-4 here in the bottom of the 6th.
First run of the inning becomes earned there. At the plate here, once again, is Louisa Stoneman. She has just 1 official at bat in this game. That's remarkable. And the 2-0 pitch sails up high.
Yeah, she's earned 3 walks in this game. Very impressive stuff.
That RBI hit for Riley Holmberg was her second hit of the game. We've seen a lot of that soft contact by the Wildcats. Basically pop-ups that drop shallow in the outfield. Very few batters have really gotten a hold of one today. 3 balls and 1 strike, the count now on Stoneman. And she takes ball 4.
4th earned walk of the game for Stoneman. And now Dolphins really falling behind here in the 6th inning. Still just 1 out. Runners at first and second. That brings up Kim Vidlak to the plate. 1 for 2 in the game.
Vidlak looking for her second hit. Keep in mind, Andrew, if the Wildcats score another run, this game is over.
That's right, mercy rule.
We're in the bottom half of the 6th. This was a 4-run game when the inning started. Lynn University is gathered behind home plate. They're getting ready to face the Dolphins in CSI's next game. That game is scheduled to start in 20 minutes. Can't imagine they would start that game on time.
definitely not.
You and I will have to migrate the setup. That shouldn't take too long. As the 1-1 pitch misses for ball 2.
You have to consider warm-ups and everything that comes along with the start of a game, including lineups.
I don't think the warm-up will be too long, but we'll see. As that swung on and missed for strike 2.
Especially if the Dolphins find a way out of this inning and go to the 7th and extend this even further.
Still just 1 out in the inning. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. That sails high for ball 3. If DeMartini issues a walk here, all of the runs in the inning will become earned. 1 run is home because of the extra base afforded by the drop throw at second. And that's it on the ground to the left side. Diving stop by Balderas. She doesn't have a play, and the bases are loaded on an infield single.
Yeah, once again, an unfortunate play on the infield for the Dolphins. Balderas does do a good job of diving over to make the grab by shortstop. Just couldn't get up in time to make the throw, as that's a quick runner in Vidlak over at first.
Chance here for the Wildcats to end this game. Madison Gomez is the batter, and she takes a called strike. Corinne DeMartini up around 30 pitches is the 3rd pitcher the Dolphins have used in this game. Also the 3rd pitching change, as Miramontes left the game and then came back in. 1 ball and 1 strike to count on the Wildcats shortstop. And that's lined the other way. Fair ball down the right field line, and that'll do it. As the Wildcats will walk it off via the mercy rule, they win it 12-4.
Yeah, and that one just got inside the line to stay fair. And that's exactly how you write this day up for the Wildcats.